Thank you, Sneha. I appreciate that. So let me just very quickly, because we're recording now, very quickly go back. So Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam means give up all your designations. You're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a teacher, you are a rich man, poor man, woman, man, whatever. And with pure consciousness, which we'll describe in a second, engage all our senses in the service of the master of senses, which is Krishna. His other name is Rishikesh, which means Rishik Ish, which is the master of all the senses, Krishna. And that is the basic definition of devotional service. Now, we're talking about what senses are we engaging. So somebody was going to answer that. Can you talk about some senses? I think, Sneha, you were going to answer. Somebody anyway. What senses we engage in the service of Krishna and how?
Eyes to see the deities of Krishna.
Okay.
Ears hearing about glories of Krishna or Krishna Katha. Tongue doing chanting, glorifying Krishna and his devotees. And even eating prasadam.
Yes, yes.
Smelling, you smell the flowers that has been offered to Krishna.
Very good.
Skin and sense of touch. I don't know.
I think Nani was trying to say something.
It's like you do this, right?
Oh, I see. So. Okay. Hari bol, Hari bol.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, yeah, go ahead.
You basically do any kind of service, like cleaning or helping out, something like that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So now you're getting the other 5 senses. What are the other 5 senses? Basically, there are 11 senses, by the way. So we talked about 5 are called knowledge gathering. So eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Then knowledge gathering, right? Then the 5 called working senses. Anybody knows what those 5 are, the working senses?
Third eye?
I'm sorry?
Third eye.
Oh, you have a third eye? I didn't know that.
I mean, there's something called as third eye, right?
I don't know what that is. Sorry, I never heard that. Tell me.
Oh, no. I mean, it's like your subconscious mind and then you use your third eye. So.
Okay. I honestly, okay. I never heard that. All I heard was Lord Shiva has a third eye.
Okay.
For destruction. And anyway, so what are the other 5 working senses?
Taste, smell.
Sorry?
Taste, smell.
No. Those are sense objects that we already kind of handled, that we talked about the sense organs.
Okay.
Your hands,
legs. Legs, yeah.
Hands, legs, tongue.
Mouth, basically mouth, yeah.
Mouth, no.
Yeah. And genitals and anus. Okay, those are the 5. So hands we use to do what we call kar seva, which is cleaning the temple, cleaning the utensils for Krishna, giving a bath to Krishna, all those kind of things. Engaging your hands, cooking, the service of Krishna. Legs, you use them to walk to the temple, do the pilgrimage and all those kind of things for that, right? and mouth, basically to always engage that in the service of Krishna, right? Through the tongue. Okay, so those are then the 11th is mind. So how do you engage mind in the service of Krishna?
Thinking about Krishna always.
Yeah, so what are the 3 functions of mind? The 3 specific functions of mind.
Thinking, memory.
Thinking is 1.
Feeling, willing.
I'm sorry, say again?
Thinking, feeling, and willing?
Yes, thinking, feeling, and willing. Those are the 3 main functions of mind. So therefore, when you're thinking of Krishna constantly, we're willing to serve Krishna constantly, and we feel like talking to, hearing about Krishna all the time. That's the mind's function. And fixing the mind on Krishna means we're doing all those things all the time. So those are the 11 senses. We engage them in the service of Krishna. That is basic definition of bhakti. But we want something more than that. That's not our ultimate destination. Our ultimate destination is, I think somebody said that already, pure devotional service. And pure means no alloy, no contamination. And what does the contamination come from? From our material desires. So when we serve Krishna with a material motivation, paisa de do, rupiya de do, position de do, fame de do, all those kind of things. Lottery jita do, dilha de do, dulhan de do, whatever. Those are material desires. Then if you're serving Krishna, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not pure service. Okay? So pure service means without any material desire, we serve him simply for the purpose of pleasing him. And I think somebody already said that. Right? So there's another verse which says, Anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadi anavratam, Ankulyan Krishnanusilanam Bhakti Uttama, which means that Anya Abhilashta, there's no other desire except to please Krishna. I don't even want knowledge. I don't want to do karma. I just want to serve Krishna. But in a favorable mood. Why is that important? So somebody had said something about thinking about Krishna all the time or remembering Krishna all the time. So let's talk about Kansa. What was he doing all the time?
Thinking about Krishna.
Thinking about Krishna. Is he a devotee?
No.
So what's the difference?
He wanted to kill him.
He wanted to kill. That's not very favorable. Right? So it's not favorable. Similarly, Shishupal, he was thinking about Krishna all the time also. But what was his problem?
He was jealous of him.
Jealous, exactly right. He was very envious of Krishna. So that's not a bhakt either. Right? So the point is anukulyan. It must be favorable. So when it is without any material desire, without any tinge of, I want to get jnana and that's why I'm doing it, only for the pleasure of Krishna, favorable to Krishna, that is called the highest level of devotional service. So that is one description of our destination. And I said one because that's not what we want to say. Okay. So then how is bhakti translated in English? Devotional service. Right? Why not just service? What's the difference between service and devotional service? Anybody?
There's love in...
Exactly. That's the point. And that's where the anukulyan also comes in. So it has to be done with love. So, for example, we are doing bhakti also. We're doing service also. But we are not doing with love. Would you agree? Or maybe you are doing it. I'm not doing it with love. So, why are we doing? Like, what's the impetus that we have to do devotional service? Yes, Abhinav?
So, maybe just to please our parents. They've...
Yeah, sure. That's one very good reason. Any other reasons?
To escape the cycle of birth and death.
Okay, so a very selfish reason. Yes. What else?
We want something. Oh, sorry.
We want something, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
To attain pure love for Krishna.
Okay, that will be perfect. Okay. What else?
To gain knowledge.
Okay, to gain knowledge, yes.
To get association of some kind. Sometimes it's to get association.
Okay.
Some kind.
Yes. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Some do it out of fear.
Out of fear, absolutely right. Okay, what else?
Maybe to do it for some sense of safety or to escape.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Escape the material world. I think Jennifer was saying the same thing. So fear, guidance, somebody's order, like you said, parents, maybe guru, maybe shastras, maybe the fear of offenses, many reasons, but not purely to please Krishna. That's who we are.
And sometimes nowadays in Kali Yuga, there is also fame, also for being famous, because
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, material desire.
Using this to just get a selfish need of being known by the world.
Absolutely right. So,
Prabhuji,
Sneha, bolo.
like I'm repeating the point, but even many people just do it because of karma kand. Like somebody told them, oh, worship, this God, and then you will have benefits.
Correct. Absolutely. Somebody says you do this, you'll get the child you're looking for, or you'll get the job you want, or the raise or the whatever, something material to gain, and you say, okay, well, do it. So most of us are at that point. So the reason I wanted to make sure you understand is that's where we're starting from. So for example, if somebody says to you, you are a pilot and you're flying an airplane, you know the airplane inside out. So how long will it take you to get there? How will you answer that?
The time it's supposed to take.
I'm sorry?
The time it's supposed to take.
No, but I need a specific answer. How many hours will it take you to get there?
Maybe just look at the amount of fuel you have and...
You're missing a very fundamental point. Very fundamental. Think about this. I'm just saying you're a pilot. Destination, that's one thing. What else do you need to know?
The direction, like where it's located.
Okay, so where's the destination, where's it located? Absolutely. What else do you need?
How much speed?
Okay, what speed I can drive at or fly at? What else do you need to know?
The route of
map.
how.
Okay, the routes, sure. What else? Another very fundamental point you're missing.
To fly.
No, you're already a great pilot. You know how to fly. You're flying already.
Yeah.
Very fundamental. Like, how long will it take you to get there? You know the destination. But what else do you need to know?
Map?
No.
Time.
Very fundamental. Think.
Plane.
Okay.
Plane.
Okay, so let me give you a hint. Suppose I said the destination is Toronto. How long will it take you to get there? Won't you want to know where am I starting from? Am I in Vancouver? Am I already in Toronto? Am I in Montreal? So you need to know where are you starting from.
Okay.
Right? So starting point and end point.
Yeah.
Right.
You need to know both.
Right.
Right? So that's why we spend so much time saying, where are we starting from? So this is where we are. You're a sadhaka. We're doing these things for a lot of times selfish reasons, just fear, something to gain, knowledge. Somebody told me to do that. I want to please somebody else. My wife will be happier if I do service, all those kind of things. Or my mom will get off my back if I, do some service. There are many reasons, right? But none of them is to say, please Krishna. That's where we're starting. Correct? Where we want to go is we are absolutely, totally, madly in love with Krishna. So that's the destination. Everyone in agreement?
Yes.
So now let's talk about, so what's the path? We talk about the route, the map. Now we're coming to that. Okay. Any questions about the destination? Because a lot of times people will give different answers. Somebody says, oh, so I get out of this material world. Somebody says, I want to go to Golok Vrindavan Dham. Somebody says, I want to go to Vaikuntha. Somebody says, I want to get moksha. Different answers. Right? What is our answer? What is our destination? Let's make sure we are all on the same page.
Get pure love for Krishna.
Pure love for Krishna. When you have pure love for Krishna, what will be your destination point? Like in terms of, place.
You're always with Krishna, so you don't need anything specific. Right?
Well, okay. But like we say that Krishna's permanent abode is Golok Vrindavan, right? So in that sense, our destination is Golok Vrindavan. But primary thing is love for Krishna, because without that, no matter who we are, we cannot get there. So therefore it becomes same. Love for Krishna is same as going to or being able to go to Golok Vrindavana. Are we all together so far? Making sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Then let's talk about the process. What is the process? What's the map? What's the road map looking like? So what are the, somebody answered that before. What are the things we have to do on the way? I'm sorry?
Following the 4 regulated principles.
Following the 4 regulated principles, for sure. Okay.
Chanting.
9 limbs of bhakti.
The 9 processes of bhakti. Yes, so let's name them. So you said chanting, Abhinav. What are the other 8?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam.
Okay, let's talk one at a time so we all understand. That's the definition. So Shravanam, I think, is easier, right? What does Shravanam mean?
Hearing.
Hearing what are you talking about?
Hearing about Krishna.
About Krishna, not about...
about Krishna, about paraphernalia of Krishna, about devotees of Krishna.
Yes, actually, you make this a very good point. When we say Krishna, we don't just mean Krishna. We mean Krishna's devotees. We mean books about Krishna like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, etc. We talk about the supporting literature like Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, those kind of things, right? The place, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes, that's all included in one word, Krishna. Okay, making sense so far?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so that's our hearing about Krishna mean. So we want to hear about his pastimes, we want to hear about qualities, we want to hear his different names, right? We want to hear about his form, what does it look like, right? What's the most preferred form of Krishna? What's the most preferred form of Krishna?
Gopal.
Yes, so Sham Sundar Krishna, 200 playing the flute. Not the 400 form, not the Virat Swarup, not any other form. Not even any other incarnation. If you want to really get there, not even any other incarnation. It's Sham Sundar Krishna, period. Not even Vasudeva Krishna, the Dwarka form or Mathura form. Lord Chaitanya said,
Vrindavan.
Sorry?
Vrindavan form.
Vrindavan, the Sham Sundar form. Wearing forest flowers, the garland of forest flowers, peacock feather, bare feet, 3 types of flutes, and a horn and a stick and a black blanket, body covered with dust. Now, that is Sham Sundar form. As you know, gopis met him in Kurukshetra, rejected him because he looked like a king. And they said, who are you? We don't know you. Come to Vrindavan, stand behind a bush, wear these things, then we know you. So that's the form we're talking about as part of a destination. So when we say Krishna, all that is included. It's not just person Krishna, right? Let me ask you one other question. Krishna has many names. What are they based upon? Think about this.
His activities.
Yes, so his pastimes is one, for sure. Majority is
his form.
that. I'm sorry?
His form.
His form, absolutely. What else?
His clothing, his where he's situated, like Dwarka, Mathura, or
Okay,
Vrindavan.
yes, absolutely. His abode, yes.
Type of rasa, I don't know.
Type of?
Rasa.
Type of rasa.
Rasa, yeah, absolutely, yes. What else? One very important.
What devotees used to call him, what devotees like to call him.
Okay, that's also true. One very important point. We haven't heard it yet. And that is his relationship with his devotees. So Nandalala, Shodadulal, because he likes that. Why? Because he's hearing the name of his devotee first. And then, but basically what that means is that you are not important. Your devotee is important, and we are referring to him to talk about you. So, for example, if your mother goes to school, everybody would know her as Abhinav's mother, correct? But in the beginning, at least, when you came to the temple, you were your mother's son. See the difference? So Krishna saying, yes, I like that because you're telling me that my devotee is more important than me. So when you call me Krishna, that's great. But when you call me Yashoda Lanad, I like that better. Because now you're referring me as my mother's son. Okay? So, anyway, so in Krishna, all that is included. So the Shravan means all those things. We're Shravaning about all those things. Hey, I made up the word, Shravaning. Okay. What's the next one?
Kirtan.
Kirtan. So what does Kirtan mean?
Chanting, talking about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, spreading about the news, spreading about Krishna, like preaching, and talking to Krishna, you can say. That also can come.
Sure, if you can do that, wonderful. Okay, so that's great. So congregational chanting, individual chanting, japa chanting, all that is included. Right? Why do we chant loudly? Yeah, Jennifer?
So that we can hear.
Okay.
And other people around us can also benefit with that, with the listening.
Correct. Even the insects, the flies, animals. You know what I do when I'm chanting? If I sometimes say, what do you call those things? Bunnies. They come in the backyard. So I start chanting very loudly. And some of them actually sit down and start listening very carefully. Some run away. Squirrels, same thing. So because they really get the benefit. If they can hear it once, next birth guaranteed to be human birth. Anyway, so that's chanting. What's remembering?
Oh, that's Vishnu Smarana.
Yeah, but what does it mean? Just explain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Basically, using your memory for Krishna. Like you can say remembering shlokas, then remembering different pastimes.
Okay.
And remembering different pastimes of his with devotees and
sure.
Like anything remembering Krishna.
Agree. Yeah. So now we talked about 3. Where does reading come in? Which is reading? Shravanam, Kirtanam, or Vishnu Smaranam? Let's say reading Srimad Bhagavatam. All, yes, exactly. That's the answer. That's the correct answer. It's all of them. Okay. 4th one. Path Sevanam. What is Path Sevanam?
So Path Sevanam has 2 meanings. Path Sevanam means also circumambulating the pilgrimage or the temple. Also Path Sevanam means serving the devotees of Krishna, like serving Sri Guru or serving Vaishnavas.
Sure. What else does it mean?
Like worshipping Lord Krishna's lotus feet?
Yes, exactly. Actually, could be literally massaging, like Mother Lakshmi is literally massaging his lotus feet. Right? Even cooking and all that in the temple, that comes in the Path Sevanam. Cleaning the temple, that comes in the Path Sevanam. Okay. Next one is what? Archanam? What's Archanam?
Worshipping the deity.
So what's included in that?
Like deity worship.
Deity worship. Yeah, basically that's right. So Aarti and all that, deity worship. Vandanam?
Prayers.
What's a prayer? What's the definition of a prayer?
Invocations and using the name of Krishna.
And the purpose of prayer is?
Sharing your feelings with Krishna.
To glorify?
Glorify him.
Okay, so all of those. What else?
Also to purify, mainly to purify, right, Prabhu? So that
sure.
You always
Sure. But a lot of times prayer is also to ask for something.
Yeah.
Right? Hopefully not something material, but to ask for something. All right. What's the next one? Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam. What's Sakyam?
Becoming
Dasyam. Dasyam is first, I think.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Dasyam, yes. What's Dasyam?
Servant.
What does that mean?
Serving Krishna as a master.
What does that mean? I'm sorry, I'm going to keep pushing you. What does that mean?
That means thinking of Krishna as a supreme God and serving Krishna as you are a part and parcel of Krishna and serving him in that way. Thinking of yourself as a servant.
I'm still going to ask the same question. What does that mean? I need you to get to the bottom line here. What's the role of a servant vis-a-vis his master?
To follow the instructions of the master.
Now you're getting there. So
guidance
and command and everything. And the best servant is the one who knows what my master wants without the master telling him to do it. That's the best servant. So this is what we're talking about. Know what Krishna wants and do it. Now, how do you know what Krishna wants?
By reading the instructions of Krishna.
How do you get Krishna's instruction?
Bhagavad Gita.
So the scriptures, right? That's one. What's the other?
You learn from.
I'm sorry?
Parampara.
Yeah.
Gurus.
Parampara. Yes, so the spiritual master himself, right? Who is in the parampara. So that's the way to know what Krishna wants. That's actually one of the main reasons why you need Guru, to know what Krishna wants. So scriptures and the spiritual master. And then you do it without Krishna having to ask him to do it. Before you get the hurricane, you know what a hurricane is? What is it?
Oh, it's like those.
No.
Lightning thing.
No. I'm joking.
Oh, hurricane.
Yeah, hurricane, the danda of Hari.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's a nice one, Prabhu.
so before the danda of Hari comes out, you do what he wants.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay. So that's dasyam. And sakyam. What is sakyam? How can you be a sakha? So first of all, what is the definition of sakha?
Friendship.
Well, and that's the reason I asked. There's friendship and this friendship.
Thinking of yourself and Krishna on the same level, and then talking having a
So it's like a
relationship with
buddy.
buddy.
There's a difference between a friend and a buddy, right?
Right.
For example, I can be your friend, but I'll never be your buddy. Too much age difference, too much, other differences, right? But any one of you among yourselves can be buddies. But I can be your friend, right? So sakha actually means friend who can be a buddy as well.
With whom you can share your feelings, share your thoughts.
And there's a lot of informality. So for example, Krishna's friends will climb on his shoulder. I say, okay, take me there. They'll beat him in wrestling. They'll tell him to shut up. I think I shared with you one pastime where the game was that there'll be a wrestling match between two parties, one led by Lord Balaram, one led by Krishna. And so there'll be one-on-one wrestling, and the loser will carry the winner on the shoulders and run up to a point and come back. So Krishna was wrestling with Sridham. Anybody know who Sridham is?
Brother of Radharani.
Yes. So if I've told you the story already, stop me because I don't want to repeat it.
I think you have.
Okay, then okay. Then I will not bore you with the details. But basically the point was that Sridhama threw him out of the game. I said, go over there, sit under the tree and wait. He would not let him back in. That's what a sakha can do. So now we cannot be sakha at that level. So what kind of sakha can we be?
Like share feelings with Krishna, or just kind of talk with him regularly. Like talk with him.
Okay. What else?
Imbibing his ways of friendship with
yes, and telling everyone about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's dasyam sakyam, atma nivedanam. What's atma nivedanam?
Fully surrender to Krishna.
What does that mean?
By gross body, by subtle body, and like everything, only Krishna.
What does that mean?
Krishna.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, as far as I have heard, as far as I have little bit experience, or as I've seen in senior devotees, it's basically not even a single thing for your own self. It's basically everything Krishna is involved. So let's say, I think I gave an example in the last class. You're brushing your teeth. Why you're brushing your teeth? You're brushing your teeth because you want to chant the holy name, so that you want to make sure that you chant the holy name with a clean tongue, with a clean teeth.
Yeah.
And other things like cooking for Krishna, and nothing like you don't eat anything except the food that is offered to Krishna. You are always Krishna conscious, always thinking of Krishna in somehow or other. maybe chanting, maybe listening, like not even a single second without Krishna, fully surrendered.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
You don't want anything in the world, not even your family relations, not anything, just Krishna.
Yes, exactly. So you have no desire other than what Krishna wants.
Nothing of this material world, not even your parents, not even your brother, sister.
Correct. Correct. Now, that does not mean you give up your parents or your wife or a husband or whatever. It doesn't mean that. But the desire is different. You serve together. Okay. So those are the 9 processes of devotional service. So that's part of the path. Right? So now, as you're walking or flying, what are some of the potential obstacles?
Your mind.
Okay. How is mind an obstacle?
Because mind will always get attracted to material things. It will always think of material things, and it will always, when you are chanting or when you're serving, it will always get you into negative thoughts. It will always, compel you that you shouldn't be doing this. You can do something better.
Yeah. So Krishna says mind can be my friend and can be my enemy.
Yeah.
So what you're describing is when mind is an enemy. Right? Which is most of the time.
In starting, it's enemy, and afterwards it turns into a friend.
So we'll talk about how you turn your mind into a friend when we talk about a solution. Let's identify the obstacles first. So mind is one for sure. What are other obstacles?
Your day-to-day life.
Okay, yeah, sure. Your routine, things you have to do, conflicting priorities. Absolutely, yes. What else?
Not proper guidance.
Lack of guidance, absolutely right. Yeah.
Circumstances,
absolutely.
Material desires.
Yep, material desires for sure.
Senses, everything to do with senses, actually.
Yes, actually, oddly enough, senses can be just like the mind can be used in Krishna consciousness and against Krishna consciousness, both. Yeah. So we'll talk about that also. What else?
Inconsistency and laziness.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, laziness. I know all about that. What else?
Not proper association.
Yes, improper association. Absolutely right. The wrong association.
Wrong association, yes.
Yeah. Wrong priorities.
Also, lack of knowledge.
Yes, absolutely right. Lack of knowledge. Okay. So you get
just karma.
I'm sorry.
Karma. So, your karma.
Let's talk about that then. Do karma have anything to do with devotional service?
A little bit, because
yes and no.
It sets the circumstances you're born into, and
okay,
that
in that sense. Okay.
Yeah, just that. So, like if you're born in an atheistic setup, it's going to be really difficult.
I agree.
Probably take you majority of your life to get into that.
Yes, absolutely.
Like look at awesome Abhinav Prabhu sitting over here from 5 years of age. He's born into the thing, right? So that's also great karma to be born into an environment, and you from like 2 generations. So it matters, because the only thing we can see in our life is tangible time. So time is a factor. So karma maybe.
No, you're right. I agree. Anything else you can think of?
Regarding karma?
No, regarding obstacles. I mean, if you want to say something about karma, that's fine. Go ahead. But I was thinking obstacles.
Well, Jennifer Mataji gave a very good point, and I have something to add on. Basically, what happens because all the difficult situations in your life, circumstances come according to your karma, your past life karmas. And that is where basically you have a choice whether you join bhakti or not. For my personal example, I was in a very difficult time of my life, and I had no spirituality in my life. I did not know Krishna is God or anything. And that was the time when I got Bhagavad Gita. And that is where my journey started. And so basically, karma can also help you in a way to jump into bhakti. And at the same time, karma can get you out of bhakti as well, if you're not so serious, if you're not so sincere. Because let's say some difficult situation comes and you're thinking, oh, I'm a bhakt, why it's happening to me? Krishna should be doing this to me. And you can be like, no, I can go somewhere else or something like that.
Okay.
Basically, kacha bhakti isko kehte hain starting mein.
Okay, then I have to point out that karma has nothing to do with bhakti. And let me explain. There are two parallel planes, levels, planes. Karma is what's called material plane. Bhakti is what's called a spiritual plane. And the two planes never intersect, like two parallel lines. So your karmas, strictly speaking, cannot influence whether you become a devotee or not. It has nothing to do with karma. The only way they interact is that bhakti can destroy your karma, but karma cannot destroy your bhakti. Karma. Offenses can, which is different, but karma cannot. So you can be a big sinner because of your bad karmas and then somehow become bhakti. Okay? So the example that Jennifer was giving was, for example, where you were born. Typically, it is karma, no question about it. It decides what family you're born in. But when it comes to devotional service, it overrides the karma. Either before the birth, in terms of what family you're born in, or after birth, regardless of what family you're born in. And we see so many examples in our history. Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj. I mean, what could be more diagonally opposite than that example? Right? And then Prahlad Maharaj and his son, Virochan, Kalnemi, all those, they were demons. The sons of a pure devotee were demons. Forget all that. One son of the Lord was a demon that had to be killed by the Lord. Now, anybody knows that one?
Shambha.
Sorry, who?
Shambha.
I don't know that name. Tell me more.
I don't remember the proper name. I think Samba or Samba, something like that.
No, Samba. Only Samba I know is the son of Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
So no, that's not a demon for sure. So I'm thinking Lord Varahadev. Lord Varahadev, what did he do? What was his pastime?
He saved Mother Earth from Hiranyakashipu.
Correct. So he rescued Mother Earth from Garbha Ocean and killed the person who had thrown it in the Garbha Ocean, which was Hiranyaksha, brother of Hiranyakashipu. But just the fact of touching, he touched with his tusks and brought it up. That process made Mother Earth pregnant and was born Narakasur, which was a big demon. So the son of the Lord is a demon. So my point is that what family you're born in does not necessarily determine whether you'll be a devotee or a non-devotee. Okay? So what does determine then? What does determine whether you're a devotee or not? Or you become
Mercy.
a devotee or not? I'm sorry?
Mercy.
Absolutely, 100% right. Mercy of the Lord or mercy of a devotee. What else?
Just your bhakti, just how...
No, but how do you get to the bhakti? That's the point.
Like being open?
I'm sorry?
Being open to hearing what devotees have to say. Having that openness.
True, but how come some are open, some are not open?
I think it's got to do just about, in general, consciousness, the way you build your consciousness.
But how do you do that? Like
humility. Humility, right?
I'm sorry?
The way
humility. You need.
Well, how do you get that?
The way you have been brought up in the life, in the way circumstances you have been got in your life.
Well, I can show you families where one brother is very humble, one is like a real rascal and puffed up like you wouldn't believe.
Past karmas of life.
I think
that part maybe, yes. But I'm talking about devotion.
It could just be fate also. Because
how do you get faith?
Not faith, fate.
Oh, fate.
Yeah.
Well, so fate now, by fate, do you mean karma? And we said no.
No, because everything's the mercy of the Lord, and it's all just structured. It's just
So,
all there.
okay, all right.
And we make it better or worse, but it's
Okay.
all.
Have you heard of a term called free will?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right? So we always have that free will to become a devotee or not, to remain a devotee or not.
Prabhu, that's like, I mean, that I know I've got that answer a lot of time from senior devotees and gurus. Like I've heard that, but I feel like it's like that thing, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's all, it's very connected. Like you can't have that free will if you don't have this, and you can't have this if you don't have the free will. So, I mean,
no. So let's make sure we understand.
Yeah.
Let's understand that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Krishna is supremely independent. Everyone agree? We are part and parcel of Krishna. Everyone agree?
Yes.
That means we have all the qualities of Krishna in a minute amount as Krishna. Everyone agree?
Yes.
Which means we also have independence. Everyone agree? But it's a minute amount. That independence is called free will. In other words, we are born with it. This is an intrinsic quality that even Krishna would not interfere with our free will. This is otherwise not free will. If Krishna interferes, this is not free will. So Krishna says, I'll let you do whatever you will, provided you deserve it. Right? So therefore, that's our choice and our only choice to be a devotee or not be a devotee. We have no other choices. Once we said not devotee, Maya takes over and everything done under the control of Maya. In chapter 3, text 27. Right? Text number 5 also in the same chapter says same thing. Nahi kasit chalamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrat karyate avashah karma. We are forced to do whatever we do by the modes of material nature. So no choice, no free will. Once we said we choose Maya, which is not devotee. Once you choose Krishna, then your Maya takes over. And now you're under her control. No more freedom. So the only time you have freedom is when you're choosing. That's it. So the choice is ours. I'm sorry, Jennifer, did you want to say something?
No, Prabhu, it's just like I personally forget whenever I hear the word free will, and I come back to this every time. But it's just like I personally forget that when we talk about free will, we talk about the soul's free will and not our free will, because it gets so confusing sometimes. Like I'm thinking, well, why would I want this for myself? Like, why would I want this for myself? But that's because right now I'm at that particular 1% stage where I would not want the previous things for myself. But when the soul initially took the call of, with that free will, made the call of coming into this planetary system and witnessing the sense objects.
Correct.
I mean, that's the free will we are referring to. We're not referring to free will in this conditioned state, right?
So what you're talking about is secondary free will. I'm talking about primary free will, right? So now you've made the choice out of your free will to be under the control of Maya. Now Maya makes you think that you're making choices. I can live in Vancouver, or I can live in Regina, my choice. I can work in IBM, or I can work in GE, my choice. Not your choice. Not your choice. Anything. Now we're totally, the hands and feet are bound. We might have 5% freedom somewhere, but even that is questionable. Now we only like to believe we're making choices. Well, otherwise, somebody's going somewhere, gets robbed. Why did he make that choice to go that way? He could have gone some other way. But he was forced to make that choice. Right? Sometimes you see accidents. If there was a difference of 1 second, the accident will not have happened. It's like I read about a case about somebody walking by a building and a brick fell on his head. Now, what kind of timing does it take to have the brick fall on his head? 1/30th of a second would have made the difference. It had been timed precisely. right? So it's all under the control of something else, not us. Is it making sense, or you're not agreeing? Because you're welcome to not agree.
Oh, I just have a quick question.
That will be your free will. Sorry, go ahead.
I have a quick question. So
go ahead.
So you said we only believe we're making choices. That's what
I'm talking about in the material sense. So we're making choices like I live in Regina, Toronto, Vancouver, or London. That kind of choice. Or I work for this company or that company. I go for BSc or computer science or arts. Those are material choices. I'm talking about that.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Because in terms of real free will, there's only one choice. Serve Krishna or serve Maya. After that, you lose all independence. Then we think we're making choices. Okay. What do you say, Himani? You're very quiet.
Yeah, so many things going on right now. So
oh, you mind? Okay.
Yeah. So if we say, so suppose there is a bhakt and say, okay, he chose Maya. Then how Maya decides how will that person has to be treated? Like on the basis of
now
karma?
your karmas come in.
Okay.
So this is where I started. If you're talking about devotional service, karmas don't come in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're talking about Maya, then karmas come in the picture.
Okay.
Right?
So just one more question. So if you are you are not a devotee, right? And if you do any kind of sin, then it's a karma. But if you are a devotee and then you commit anything, then it's an offense. Right?
No. I'm glad you asked that question. That needs to be clarified. No, it depends upon what you're doing. Like a devotee, first of all, devotee term we use very loosely. Like we use for ourselves. We are devotees. Well, we're not devotees. Come on. We are aspiring devotees at best. So we still do a lot of things that are under the category of karma. We're not doing everything for Krishna. So whenever you do something that's not for Krishna, that's karma. That's the basic definition. And then you have bad karma and good karma. If it's according to the scriptures, it's good karma. And if it is against the scriptures, bad karma. That's a very simple definition. But karma is still karma, good or bad, it's still karma. Right? And that's not bhakti. So only when, it doesn't matter who you are, only when you're doing something for Krishna is bhakti, otherwise karma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because right now we are doing both, right? We are doing a little bit of
right now what we're doing is bhakti. We are not doing any karma right now.
Okay.
Right now, I'm assuming Jennifer is having prasadam. So we're not doing any karma right now. Okay.
This is, I'm having prasadam, that's okay. But the way I'm having it is not like I should have prasadam.
No. I have no issue with that. No issue with that. Yes, Abhinav, go ahead.
So I had a question. So, earlier we were talking about we do devotional service with some sort of expectation, right? Do we acquire karma if we serve Krishna with some sort of expectation?
Excellent question. As long as we're doing it with Krishna, it's not karma. It's not, what it also means is not pure devotional service, which is what we started with. You're doing something with a material motivation, it's still devotional service, but it's not pure devotional service. But it's definitely not karma. Okay? Wow. So, for example, chanting will never come under the category of karma, even if you're doing it with offenses.
So, Prabhuji, what is good karma, and then what's the difference? I was thinking good karma is whatever you do, like anything.
No, anything that you do under the influence of Maya for yourself. So, for example, you give Rupanuga charity, and you're welcome to do that, by the way. So, bringing $100,000 and say, Rupanuga Prabhu, I like you so much. Here's a check that won't bounce, I promise. That's great charity, right? And you get good karma for that. Okay. On the other hand, you steal a check of $100,000 from me. That's bad karma because that's stealing against the injunctions of the scriptures. On the other hand, you take a check of $100,000, give it to the temple to whatever purpose was in the temple. That's not karma.
It's bhakti.
That's bhakti.
Okay.
Right? So again, simply speaking, anything you do for Krishna is bhakti. Anything you do for yourself is karma.
It's karma.
Wait, go
ahead.
So, but if I serve Krishna expecting some sort of thing in return, right? So you're saying there's no karma associated with that? That's also...
Correct. That's impure bhakti.
Impure bhakti is also karma free.
Yes, yeah. Even impure bhakti is karma free. Now, the careful thing is, once you get what you ask for, then you may accumulate karmas. So, for example, you go to Krishna and say, please give me a check for $100,000. And somehow gives it to you. Now you got $100,000 in bank. Now, what you do with $100,000 may accumulate karmas, good or bad. Right?
I mean, it's not, as they say, right? It's not what you're asking for. It's the intent behind it. Like, what are you going to do it for? Like, if I can go to the temple and I can say every day that, Krishna, I want $5 million right now. I want it right now. But if my purpose is to build a temple for him or to serve everybody,
yes,
that $5 million is beautiful. Although I'm thinking about money, but that money is in service, for service. But if I'm thinking, okay, like a lot of people get asked that question, right? If you win a lottery tonight, what will you do with the money? And everybody tries to have that big heart and show that, okay, I'm going to give it in charity. And those are the people who never win, because you cannot do that. You cannot be that. And that is why it's so golden to be like that. So somebody will, like there'll be like this Miss Universes who say that I'll keep the 50% for myself and the rest I will use for so-and-so purpose. And they win. Whereas straight out, there's going to be someone, I'll win a lottery. I'm going to give all of that to an orphanage or to an old age home. Like, sure, that's why you're here. That's why you're like, on a contest. But Prabhu, I have a question. Like related to the topic and in a way kind of different too. We're talking about the process of bhakti and that, right? So lately I've noticed how sometimes we may, because you said this beautiful thing that we are not devotees, we are aspiring devotees. And I lately have noticed that the world around is, there must be Maya, there must be so many things, but it's more beautiful than we think it is. People still have the goodness. They still have the compassion. They still have sense control, even if they might be consuming alcohol, or even if they might be, eating meat. Because I feel like it is one thing to say that do not eat meat. And it's the other thing to say, like, just because I'm not eating meat, I'm compassionate, And I don't agree with that philosophy at all. Like, you can't say that today I follow the 4 regulative principles and it makes me a devotee. Like, according to me, it's like, no, that's not the way you become a pure devotee, because those 4 things are expected of you to be human, to not be an animal. Now, just because you come to the category or the platform of being a human by not indulging yourself in those 4 offenses, you don't become that. So, and it's just a little bad. I'm trying to work on myself, but sometimes I feel like devotees are using this term devotee so loosely, almost covering their own karmas, like, I'm not going to talk to any other person who's not a devotee, and I don't have compassion towards them. Like, I need to go. If they don't have the compassion, I need to be the person to bring this message to them. I need to go and show them love, show them Krishna, show them how Krishna has taught me to love everybody who is, not, in my eyes, not a devotee. But that, I feel, is a big block in the entire movement. Because everybody has just been like, oh, I do my 4 things. I do my 16 rounds of japa. I'm a pure devotee. I know the scripture by heart. I'm a pure devotee. I go for Mangal Arati. I'm a pure devotee. The rest of the world is like BS. And doing that is so wrong as a devotee. My blood boils, honestly, when I hear that, but I'm just being radical. But I feel like in this process of, since we're as the youth talking about the process of bhakti, 2 important things which Krishna has taught us all the time is tolerance of great, because we are doing so much nonsense and he's putting up with all of that, right? Including pretending to be his devotees and doing nothing like what he wants us to do. So, and we don't have it in the process of bhakti. We talk about this perfect world that Krishna wants us to be, and we do nothing to work on ourselves. So, and I feel like right now, since it's our group and everything here, we keep talking about everybody else. I mean, we are nowhere there. We are not devotees, and we have to really get this. I really liked how you said aspiring devotee, Prabhu. I think I know I'm an aspiring devotee, and I cannot get there. Like, never, like that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Not in this lifetime. So
I wouldn't go that far, but I totally agree with you that that's not what makes a pure devotee. And Prabhupada talks a lot about those things. Yeah, Sudhanshu?
Mataji gave a very wonderful point, and I have something to add on. Basically, we were talking about a definition of bhakti and devotion, right? So there we talked about following the instructions of Krishna, and where I said that we should follow the instructions in Bhagavad Gita. Now in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna specifically says very clearly what knowledge is. He doesn't say like scriptural knowledge or something. He says what knowledge is: humility, tolerance, self-control, and having proper relationships with others, having surrendered to a spiritual master, and all that. And then also he again and again in the whole Bhagavad Gita is saying nirvair sarvabhuteshu, nirvair sarvabhuteshu. That don't be bad to anyone.
Don't be a bad dude.
Yeah, don't be a bad dude. Be a good dude to everyone. Yes, be a very good to devotees. Be very good, very careful with devotees. But who are not devotees, then you should treat them also as they are devotees, thinking because I am sitting in their heart. If I am sitting in their heart, if I have accepted them, I have accepted their soul, I have accepted their body, and I am sitting in their heart, then definitely they are my devotees in some way or another. Maybe not in this life, maybe 100 lifetimes from now, they will be devotees. But correct. So we should always think of, in the last session also we had talked about this, like we should try to see Krishna in everyone, whether they are devotees or whether not devotees, whether they're animals, whether they're insects. Correct. Because in that way we'll have pure love. In that way we have proper respect for everyone. Not seeing the material body, but seeing the beyond that. That is what a devotee is. Not seeing the material outfit, but the internal soul and the internal Paramatma who's sitting right beside it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely right. Okay, so let's come back to our topic of discussion, which is the making progress of the path of devotional service. So we identified a number of obstacles. So let's talk about how we overcome those obstacles. I also want to, the time checks 9:18. How much longer do you have so that I can adjust the discussion?
As long as you want.
Okay. What about everybody else?
Prabhu, I can stay till 9:30.
Okay. All right.
Or 9:30.
Okay. So then let's try and wrap it up by 9:30. And if not possible, then we'll do it next month. I will continue because there's no reason why we cannot continue on the same topic 2 months in a row. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the first obstacle that was identified was mind, right? I think Sudhanshu did that. So how do you control the mind? What does Krishna say? How do you control your mind?
By renunciation and by practice, abhyas and renunciation.
Correct.
Vairagya and abhyas.
You refer to chapter 6, text 46, I think it is, or 45, something like that. Abhyasantu kaunte vairagyancha grihite. That's the second line, right? So what does that mean? Practice. What does that mean? Practice what? What are we practicing here?
Both Sudhanshu Prabhu and Prabhu, both of you, I can't memorize a cell phone number. I'm so glad you all can memorize verses. So good job.
But you're the one actually who told him the verse number. So come on.
Don't be so humble.
Don't be so humble.
Yes. We caught you.
I'm the kind who listens to the top playlist. That's it. About who sung it. Right.
I think we all do. Okay, so yeah, so how do we? So what does abhyas mean? Practice. What does that mean? What's Krishna saying? Trying to say?
Basically, in my understanding, Prabhuji, where he says Vairagya. Vairagya means a renunciation from the material world's material desires and the non-devotees. Because that way your thinking would not go to material things, material relationships. And that way your mind can come into a, your mind is not going here and there. You have a proper focus that you only want to be Krishna conscious. And then he says Abhyas. Abhyas is basically mantra. In one sense, there are various senses where there are various ways of doing it, but the main way is mantra, because mantra means to control your man, to control your mind. And that is why we have Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because in that way, we're trying to control our mind and we're trying to focus our mind on the specific names of Krishna, and we're trying to train our mind to always think of Krishna.
Sure. So, okay, so yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So you're saying the mantra, literally it means delivering your mantra, freeing your mind. So absolutely, mantra is the best way to control your mind. But how does that relate to practice? He says abhyasin, practice. So what are you practicing?
Consistency of being following the real knowledge, but we just talked about, and following basically just following the 4 regulative principles, being good to everyone, following the 9 processes of bhakti, and trying to put your mind always in that, not going watching YouTube and surfing Facebook, surfing Instagram. Abhyas, basically vairagya from those things, and abhyas in Krishna consciousness, like reading scriptures, chanting, associating with devotees. That's what my understanding is.
Okay, no, I'm just trying to kind of analyze that in my mind. So abhyas also means to repeat. And this is why we say it's not a one-time religion. It's constantly. The Sanskrit word is apratihata, which means non-stop. And this is why it says chant all the kirtaniya sadahari, chant all the time. So 16 rounds is just one type of chanting, right? Chanting has to be all the time. Devotee association has to be all the time. Reading scriptures has to be all the time. Like you said, 9% of devotional service has to be all the time, right? That's abhyas. So yes, in the beginning, and we all at the beginning, the mind will run in 15 different directions, if not 1,500 different directions. And it'll try to attract you for this, that, and that. And you'll be doing, some of the funny japas that we hear about. About driving japa, about the cell phone japa, about the gossip japa, the TV japa, so many different types of japas, right? And we do that because we can't control our mind. But if we keep practicing and practicing and practicing, there was a baseball pitcher, I forget his name now, the professional league baseball pitcher, and he said, practice until people start calling you lucky. Because you become so perfect, people say, no, nobody can be that perfect, so you're just lucky that you win. Right? And that's what Krishna is talking about. Practice until you get lucky. Or people start calling you lucky. It's also sometimes known as Ahatiki Kripa of Krishna. Oh, you got Kripa of Krishna. Well, no, it doesn't just happen. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's what Krishna means. Renunciation. How do you get renunciation? I mean, it's easy for Krishna to say that. He is already there. How do we become renounced? Like, what do you want me to do? Give up my family, give up my job, give up my home, give up my city, give up my beautiful car and my beautiful wife and my beautiful children and all those kind of things? No. So how do you become renounced? So actually there's another concept called Yukta Vairagya, which means while engaged in your day-to-day activities with the day-to-day people, you just don't get attached to them. Well, then what's the process of not getting attached to them? It's the process known as getting attached to Krishna. So notice, everything is positive. There's no negative. Don't do this. We're not talking about that. Don't do this. Give up that. We're not talking about that. We say, do this. Become attached to this, which is possible to do. Negative things are not possible to do. Yes, Jennifer?
Prabhu, will it be like something you said the earlier day that, like do what you need to, but do not be attached to the results?
Exactly.
Like,
that's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So do what you have to do.
Can I just share? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to share something.
Please do.
Oh, bro. So what you said right now, like for me, I get really bogged down when I'm constantly told, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this.
I'm not surprised.
I'm sorry, when Sudhanshu was saying that verse, right? I was just like, what if I don't want to do that? I'm constantly being told what not to do. I just become so like bogged down. I don't feel like doing anything. But what you said right now, that we're not asking you to stop doing this, we're just asking you to do that instead. That's like right. That.
Yeah, it's like, for example, a lot of people, they come to the temple and they say, well, I still eat meat, I still drink tea, I still drink coffee, I still have liquor, and I have 3 girlfriends. And people go after them. Don't do that, you'll go to hell. Well, that is not motivating anybody. And honestly, I'm not trying to brag, but I have never told anybody to stop drinking tea, coffee, milk, or liquor, or have girlfriends or whatever. Do whatever you want to do, man, but just chant 1 round. Just chant 1 round. That people can do. But to give up liquor that they have been having for the last 13 years, and coffee that they have drank pretty well all their life, and say give up tomorrow? Impossible.
It's easier to pick up a habit than break a regulation, right?
You got it.
Like I'm telling you, I was one of the fave, like meat was my thing from birth till like a good amount of time. Sure. But only chanting, and the Prabhuji who introduced me to chanting, he just said chant. And Indrani and I were in the same group, he just said chant.
That's it.
And when people would say don't eat, my heart would go like, you don't tell me what to do.
Exactly right.
But when Krishna said through chanting, don't eat, it was like nobody had to do anyhow.
That's right. Exactly. And that's the point. That is the point. It's much easier to do something than not do something. Sorry, Sudhanshu, you go ahead.
I heard it in one of the lectures of Amrinder Prabhuji that they used a very good, they said a very good thing. Until and unless you don't get a higher taste, you can't quit a lower taste. So basically, until and unless you can't have, that level of enjoyment, the level of bliss in Krishna consciousness, you won't be forcing yourself to, leave other things from where you can get enjoyment. And
yes.
And basically 2 more things, like, as you said, chanting should be done regularly. Now, till now, whatever I heard about the holy name is at the same thing Abhinav Prabhuji was asking, that I don't have that feeling to quit. It's basically what I have heard is, I don't know what his life is or what is going on, but the more we chant, the holy name gives us that power to leave things. It automatically creates that vairagya in yourself.
Absolutely right.
Automatically. And second thing is knowledge. Knowledge of scriptural injunctions, that what is right, what is wrong. Because thing is, if someone is going to tell you that don't eat meat, you will say, why? Everyone is eating. But if you don't know what is going to happen to you after you eat, let's say 28 kinds of hell in Srimad Bhagavatam, and material modes of nature, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, until you yourself don't read those, unless you yourself don't experience that, you will not be ready to quit that. So that's why whenever I see a new devotee joins, we never explain him to anything like, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. The only thing we say is, you should start chanting. Because chanting itself, the holy name will itself generate those feelings. The holy name itself will generate those feelings. It will generate those knowledge inside yourself, that automatically you will leave everything.
Absolutely. Actually, there's a verse in Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 7. It says, Vasudeva Bhagavate Bhakti Yogan Prayojita Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayahatkam. If you serve Krishna sincerely, then automatically renunciation and knowledge comes. Automatically. There's no separate endeavor required. And that's what we're talking about. Okay. All right. So it's 9:30 out of respect, Abhinav's. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say something, Abhinav? I see your hand raised.
Sorry. I actually, oh yeah, Prabhu. So this topic of karma, right? It really as of late, I've just been thinking of all the bad things that I've done. I'm just really afraid. But Prabhu also said, I like the conversation we were having, but I have this question, Prabhu. So see, I feel like I can do things. I just have a really hard time giving things up. And I don't know if I can do anything because I want to give it up, but I'm willing to do new things because I'm asked to do new things. But my question is, will I still not accumulate karma like you were saying that you tell people that you do whatever you do with your life, but just chant, right? But will they still not accumulate karma? So what happens then?
They will. But however, look at the two scenarios. You tell them, don't do it. And they're like you, they will keep doing it. And for the rest of their lives, they will continue to accumulate karma. You tell them, don't worry about that, just chant. Eventually, they'll come to a point where Krishna will say, from within, you don't want to eat. They'll give up. So now there's a finite point where they will stop accumulating those karmas. And then, if by Krishna's mercy, one day they become pure devotees, all their karmas will be burnt anyway. So who cares?
It reminds me of this situation, Abhinav Prabhu. You probably are from an Indian household, so I can tell you if you relate to it. Our moms would keep saying, that don't do this, gir jaoge, don't do this, ye ho jayega, wo jayega. And before it happens, like they'll give this weather forecast of what's going to happen. And in my head, I was like, this lady is crazy from as a kid. And I never understood. And my father would just stand by on the side and be like, go ahead, go. I'll do it. And I'll fall so bad. I'll come back crying to my mom, not my dad. I'll come back crying to my mom. I'll say, I fell. So my mom's like, you were going to fall anyway. But I was like, I didn't know. And my dad's like, exactly. You have to let her fall so bad on her face. They say, muh ke bal girna chahiye, tab jaake akal aayegi. So like, fall on your face.
Yes.
One more thing, Prabhuji, I wanted to add on to the Abhinav Prabhuji's question. That he said, like, you don't want to quit those things. And as I said, like, chanting can do it. But how it does it, there's a proper way in it. I think in one of the videos of Radhasham Prabhuji, I heard it. There are, certain steps of chanting. Like in the very first step, it burns up all your karma. Like when you're chanting, let's say you started chanting 16 rounds. It's not like the very first day you will have vairagya. The first of thing, it will burn all your past karmas. Then it will stop you from, then it will create circumstance in your life that you don't commit new karmas, don't commit new bad karmas. Then it will come a point, then automatically, then it will give you feelings that I shouldn't be doing this, the third step in that. And then it comes the part where all your anarthas are starting getting destroyed, all your emotions, all your everything, anarthas, what you do to other people and everything. So basically, as I said earlier, the main thing we need to focus on is chanting. Just chant as much as you can and try to associate with devotees and try to read scriptures. And with these things only, because scriptures itself has that power. In Bhagavad Gita, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that after reading whole Bhagavad Gita, after studying whole Bhagavad Gita, all your past karmas are destroyed. In the last chapter, in 18th chapter, Krishna says that that whoever reads this, whoever studies this conversation of ours, all their past accumulated sins will be destroyed. And similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam also, there are, let's say, when in the first canto, chapter 3, when all the different incarnations of Krishna are explained, then Shuta Goswami gives a benediction that whoever will chant this chapter morning and evening every day, all their miseries of life will be destroyed. And certain other things like we have Narsingh Kavach, we have Sri Hanuman Chalisa and all that. They all have benedictions of this kind. So the holy name itself can do it. Vartamantu yat papam yad bhutam yad bhavishyati tat sarvam nirtahayati asu govind kirtanaha. But all your past sins, all your future sins, all the sins you're doing right now, all will be just completely vanquished just by the holy name. And then in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, and in Srimad Bhagavatam also, this whole point is profusely, nailed, that the only thing that you need to do is Vaishnav Seva and Nam Sankirtan. So that is, from that only comes everything. Everything comes from that only.
Yeah, very good. Absolutely right. Okay, so listen, let's stop now. And it sounds to me like it would be better to continue the same discussion next month. You all agree?
Prabhuji, I think we should have more classes in a month. One class is very less in a whole month. Like what happened to me, I logged into the Zoom last week. I thought there was a class last week. So I logged in at 7 o'clock according to Regina time, and I was waiting 15 minutes. It's 7:15. What is happening? And then then I checked my email and I checked my email. It was like, it's every second Friday of every month.
Yes.
Maybe we can do more classes.
Prabhu, I get this notification sometimes to join a youth meeting. Is that a thing that you have started, or is it just a mistake on the calendar? Because I don't know about it, but I get a notification to join it on random days. Yeah, I have a feeling, Prabhu, you may have set it once, like as a reminder, and now it randomly comes. Like it just comes randomly.
Really?
I have no idea. I deleted it because I was like, if there's something like this, Prabhu would have told me about it. And I've been doing this for 1 year now, and finally I deleted that event. So I'm letting you know after I deleted, because I know you don't take the class. It shows up. You don't, right? Yeah, and it says Vancouver Youth Meeting. It's a repeating event. I don't know if Indrani or anybody.
Every week?
No, every month.
Every month,
like once a month. But I think you said it on a Friday, and you said something, I don't know, but it comes once in a month on random days, like Sundays, Wednesday, random. And it comes from you. So I don't know. I have to find out the root of it.
I don't know. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
At least I don't know if I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, it's not you for sure, but it's set by you. So I don't know. But anyway, we'll look into that later. So I was feeling bad that I deleted it without telling you. So I'm just telling you that I deleted it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll look into it. I don't know what that could be.
It showed up last Sunday. So the previous Sunday, I got a notification to join that event, but there's no such event, I'm pretty sure. Because you do class only on Wednesday, Thursday. And
so I do every day of the week, basically.
Okay.
One thing or the other. And sometimes I have Sunday evening free. That's about it. And every once in a while, Saturdays. But otherwise, it's all taken. So I know I'm not doing what... I have no idea. I'll have to look into that. Yeah. And that's my challenge, Sudhanshu, that, how do I do it more frequently than once a month? I have to find a day. That's the problem. I mean, randomly, I can do that. Every once in a while, a day becomes free. But I can't say every Tuesday will be free or every Friday would be free. I can't do that. So, I mean, if you want, whenever I'm in a situation where I say, hey, I have 3-day notice that that day is going to be free, I can send a note out and see how many of you are interested. I can do that.
But Prabhu, for that kind of meeting, I think we'll have to change the topic or restrict it to something, because then people who can't make it on the regular days will miss that out, right? For
Absolutely.
like no reason.
Yeah,
but we can totally do that. Yeah.
Sure. Which is the other challenge I have is that there's a lot of people on my mailing list, as you know. Yeah. But other than those who are here, nobody else is regular.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what the reason is.
Prabhu, if there's consent from everybody with doing that Sudhanshu Prabhu just suggested, then maybe if you just send me a WhatsApp message, I'll email everybody and tell them that we may have a class, so that will reduce your load of emailing just the specific people.
Oh, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not worried about my emailing. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about, maybe not worried is not the right word, is if I'm, unnecessarily overcrowding people's email. If they're not interested, then why bother sending? Why are we sending it to them? True. Some just don't come. Some come very rarely.
Okay.
And anyway, Guys, 10 past what Abhinav wanted, so I'm sorry about that. Let's second Friday of December for now, and if something changes, I'll send you a note. Okay. It's been very enjoyable evening. I really have enjoyed, and I hope you have as well. And especially the first timers here, Himani, Abhinav. I hope you found it worthwhile.
Thank you.
And that you'll become a regular member.
Yeah, guys, please stay, okay? Everybody has to stay. So much work, like Prabhu takes out time and then people come and people go. I don't like people going.
Book your calendar for every month, second Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, please, if you will.
Perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
I will do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Bye-bye.
Hare Krishna.